You are watching the SFL Network live on YouTube from Budweiser Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. I am your play-by-play commentator, Simien. Alongside me is color commentator Merrick Itera. We are here today as the 1-1 Indianapolis Red Devils has traveled to take on the 1-1 St. Louis Gladiators. These two teams are separated by 242 miles and 3 hours and 43 minutes along Interstate 70 East, which lies between these two cities. St. Louis is looking to go 2-1 to start the season after their Week 1 loss to the London Knights and their Week 2 win over the New Orleans Pharaohs as they played spoiler to New Orleans in their first ever SFL game. The Gladiators defense forced 5 interceptions during that game, which Douglas and Piltier both came away with 2 picks of their own. The Indianapolis Red Devils are trying to increase their win percentage and move past 500 with the win today after their Week 1 loss to the Tallahassee Pride, 21-14, and their bounce back to win versus the Baltimore Vultures last week, 30-7. The Red Devils held the Vultures in check, holding them to a total of 255 yards. This should be a great game to watch. Merrick, what you think, sir?
Man, well, I can't wait to see how Zach Andrews does. He just got picked up by the Red Devils, and it'll be really interesting to see how he performs out there.
Absolutely, and that was the kick, and the return guy comes away with the return out to the 30-yard line here for Indianapolis. They're wearing new uniforms. I've never seen this before. They're gray hats, gray strips, gray jersey all the way down, whole entire uniform.
You don't see any red on there at all.
Absolutely. I was a little confused as far as what was going on here. And we have the QB here for the Red Devils of Tom Pepper set with the Twins right here, and he hands the ball off here to the halfback, and he looks like he only picks up 1 yard here on the play.
Yeah, I didn't get too far, but they're just going to be testing the defense here. St. Louis is known for having a strong front four, so.
Absolutely, and the key players here for the game for the offensive side of the Red Devils, you have Dan Daly, the wide receiver, Eli McCormick, Tom Pepper, Keith Swearingen, and those are the key players for the Red Devils on offense. And Pepper comes out in a ace formation. He takes a 2-step drop, reads, and he dumps it off here to Swearingen. He picks up 4 yards there on the play, with 3, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those far sideline swing passes, people, kind of mixed reactions on them, but it's just as good as a short run.
Absolutely, absolutely. And actually, they can come in handy in short yardage situations. And here's a look here at Pepper. Yes, sir. Here's a look here at Pepper. And he has trips towards the bottom of the field to the left side of him. Single back offset, that is. Here's the Swearingen, takes a 2-step by Pepper. Diving! And it comes away incompleted. And the Red Devils have to punt it away.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see him be held to here without any points in the first drive. They're pretty high-powered offense-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought the receiver was coming down with the catch there, or the reception. But it looks like it was overthrown. And here's Ryan Quad. Here's set to punt the ball away here for the Red Devils. And there's the kick. And there's the return, and nothing doing. Stopped at the 31. And St. Louis comes away after that great defensive performance they put on last week, Merrick, versus the New Orleans Pharaohs, where they took away 5 interceptions from Xander Gold, the key quarterback over there for New Orleans, and they just made New Orleans just look horrible for their first SFL game.
Yeah, St. Louis secondary does not have any mercy whatsoever in their hearts for rookies, so they weren't going to go easy on them.
Absolutely, and here is
all day to pass.
Asu, he has all day to pass. He decides to scramble, and he's holding the ball like a loaf of bread, and he picks up 7 yards on that run there. Great run there by Asu.
Yeah, if anybody was going to get rushing yards out of their QB, it was going to be St. Louis.
Absolutely. And here's St. Louis in a strong I formation, and that's Diaz to dot the I. And here's a handoff. Here's like a stretch play to Diaz. He runs one guy over, and he did not pick up the first down, but picked up 2.
No, but he gave it a really strong effort there. He moved the pile 2 or 3 times before they finally got enough meat on the other side to stop him.
And here's the key players here on offense for St. Louis. We have Nick Finch was the receiver. Dylan Asu, quarterback. Denzel Diaz, the halfback. And here's a handoff here to Diaz to the bottom of the field. And he picks up the first down before he's smacked around.
Yeah, it cost him a little bit, but he got there.
Also, the key players here for St. Louis, as we have the tight end, Cody Scott. And those are the key players for the St. Louis Renegades on the offensive end. Here's a look at Dylan Asu. And he comes out in a 3 wide receiver set. Looks like Diaz is in the backfield along with, I can't see if that's a fullback or the tight end there, but they're in shotgun formation, St. Louis that is. One step drop here by the QB, going across the middle of the field. He got some man, catch and caught, and he picks up the first down. And coming away with that catch is Nick Finch.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have had better coverage on that play. He just came away with a really good catch there.
Absolutely. Take a look here at the replay. Call it, Merrick.
Yeah, he's stride for stride. You know, it's just he just gets out a little bit ahead of him right as the ball gets delivered. So, you know, you can tell he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that was a great catch there. I mean, a great throw there by Dylan to keep, you know, great poise there in the pocket and stay focused and great accuracy on that pass as well.
Yeah, it's not Nick Finch's first rodeo, so, you know, he's going to come down with those catches.
Absolutely. 3-step drop here by Finch, and he dumps it off here to the fullback, that is. That's Truckee Stick, is it? Yeah, it comes away.
Yep. Truckee Stick. 6'5", 275. Yeah, he's pushing hard out there.
Yeah, picks up 5 yards on that catch there. Looks like Moose Johnson back in the days for the Dallas Cowboys. He was a great fullback coming out of the backfield, great at catching the ball, along with Tom Ratham for the 49ers as well. And here's St. Louis once again in the power eye, and this time they're going to pass. They're going to dump it off on the screenplay here to Diaz, and he's blowed up in the backfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got quick feet, but, you know, the defense was on him there. He didn't have enough room to make a move.
Absolutely. The defense smothered him there. He didn't have any room to run. And the St. Louis Gladiators are wearing their Michigan State attire today. Straight green and white attire, as the owners are big Michigan State fans. And
well, they're definitely pulling the lookalike off, because mirror image right there.
Absolutely. And there's Diaz on the broken tackle.
Diaz, see?
And he breaks another, and he's brought down at the 21-yard line of Indianapolis. Great play there by Diaz. Awesome move.
And that's the difference between the defense not giving him enough room to make something happen and giving him just enough room. He breaks those 2 tackles, he sheds them, goes up, deke past that guy, and heads up tackle at the end saves it, but there's 4 people over there that had a chance to end that way sooner.
Absolutely. That's a great way to keep your legs moving there, not giving up on the play. And Merrick, can I ask, what are your take or tales of the take here for the game to start off here?
Well, I mean, I expect St. Louis to push hard on the ground. They use their wide receivers as a great decoy to get their ground game going. You see they get their fullback involved. So it'll be interesting to see Indianapolis, who's got a respected defensive mind in their head coach, James Richardson. He's going to make how he treats the St. Louis offense is going to be interesting to see throughout the course of the entire game.
Absolutely, and that's a touchdown here for St. Louis as Asu catches a man across the middle of the field. Look at the pump fake, getting the guy to jump there. Everyone's jumping, and he catches the big receiver in the deep in the back end, the tight end, Cody Scott.
Yep, pump fake was just enough to freeze that guy. Had the coverage help on the inside. They just couldn't get there to him in time. And Asu made a great throw as he was getting hit too.
Absolutely. I've never seen a kicker wear a neck guard, as Matthew Martin here gets himself ready to kick this ball here for the extra point there, and the guy has on a neck roll. I've never seen that from a kicker.
Well, there's some of those kickers really look forward to their chance to give it to the defensive guys on the returns and everything. So maybe he's just wired that way. He's looking for someone to put his helmet on.
Absolutely. And Martin gets set to kick this thing away here after St. Louis drove downfield and picked up a quick score, not taking much time off the clock here. And here's Indianapolis here on the return, and whoa, what a hit!
Yeah, that was tough. Andrews wasn't playing around out there.
It was Zach Andrews on the return, and man, after he picked up the yardage that he got out to the 28, he took a shot.
Yeah, but it's good to see him hop up like that, and get up. He's good. That again. I'm here all day. Have for a kick returner.
Absolutely. And here is Indianapolis in a trips bunch down to the bottom of the field once again. And St. Louis looks like they're showing blitz, and it does bring the pressure. And the halfback still picks up 3 yards on that carry.
Yep, and that's what I expected for St. Louis or for Indianapolis is to come out and test that stuff out. See if St. Louis is playing more out to the outside because Indianapolis throws it a little bit more often than some other teams. So.
Yeah, and St. Louis is going to have the hidden field. This defense is going to have the hidden field today with Keith Swearingen. This guy here is 6'1", 245 pounds, the second-round pick, number 32 of the SFL draft. And here's a pass going deep, and that pass is dropped by the receiver.
Yeah, that was tough. There's some plays you can make an excuse for him, but that one it was right out of his hands.
Absolutely.
Right on him.
Looks like McCormick was the receiver that was the intended receiver that just straight dropped the ball there. Can't believe he didn't come away with that reception.
No, that's really uncharacteristic for McCormick. He's usually very sure-handed.
And here's Tom Pepper, 3 wide receivers, and Swearingen in the backfield. And there's a 5-step drop by Pepper going deep. Got a man, and it's Dan Daly across the middle. Deep pass and picks up first down.
Yeah, those deep middle of the field, man, it hurts every time you get hit there.
Absolutely. You got to have some DBs back there that can cover that deep middle. And looks like St. Louis was not in deep coverage by their safeties.
No, it looked like they had a linebacker floating around in that zone, and he just isn't going to have the same awareness that a cornerback or another secondary member would have to get in there and make the play when he should be.
Absolutely, and Indianapolis comes out in a split back formation, 3 wides. This time looks like they're in a tight end flex, and there's a 2-step drop here by Pepper. Sidearm throw, and he got his tight end across the middle of the field as he picks up. Oh, no, that's McCormick.
Yep, that was McCormick, and that throw was on a rope. I mean, Tom Pepper stepped into that one because there was no elevation on that throw at all.
Absolutely.
It was just a line straight to his hands.
Yeah, I was just going to say it was just a straight dart with a sidearm throw at that. And looks like in the twins here to the bottom of the field. McCormick in the slot. Daly in the outside here. And Swearingen on a swing to the... And he goes down as Pepper as St. Louis brings pressure for the quarterback sack. And this guy is throwing up the Q-Dog sign. Mandrake Perp, that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not the first time you'll say his name, and you'll see him on camera before. Just keep watching. He gets in there. He gets his hits.
Absolutely. This is his second season here in the SFL. Defensive end, 6'5", 285-pounder. 3 wide receiver set here once again for Indianapolis. There's a 2-step drop by Pepper. Going across the middle of the field. That pass is picked off by the linebacker, it looks like.
Watch out now, yeah. I think so. I can't really see from... Oh, it was Bo Knowles. 96, okay.
Absolutely.
He's just sitting out there in shallow coverage, and he makes a play on it, man. We've got some... there's some non-contract linebackers in this league that are definitely looking to get signed.
And that was a great defensive play there by Knowles. And I guess Pepper didn't see him with all the green that St. Louis is wearing. Maybe blended in with the carpet.
I think maybe that last throw got him a little too confident in how tight those windows could be, and he just overlooked the linebacker.
I agree with you. Here's St. Louis here in this shotgun formation, and he's got
coming.
all kinds of time. And he decides to run it. He's holding that thing like a loaf of bread, looking like Ken O'Brien out there for the Jets. First down he pick up.
Yeah, he is. He's confident out there running.
Yeah, with the green and white on. It looked like Joe Namath out there wearing the number 12.
Yeah, a little college football inspiration out there, and his feet are moving a little bit quicker today.
Absolutely. Aisel, that is, 6'4", 225-pounder. Here for the St. Louis Renegades. I'm sorry, not Renegades. St. Louis Gladiators. My apologies. Split backs or the halfbacks. Diaz. And there's a quick strike. Oh, and that pass is intended for the receiver and deflected away.
Yeah, I almost made the same mistake that the opposing team's already made. Overlooking that linebacker and throwing into that coverage and not expecting him to be aware enough to make a play on it. But some of those linebackers got eyes in their back of their head. Yeah,
that was a receiver that was intended was Tito Moss, number 81. As a look at Acel's numbers, 56 yards and 1 touchdown. I formation here is St. Louis. Diaz to dot the power eye. And there's a handoff here. ISO up the middle of the field, and he makes a man, bounces off of him as he picks up 4 on that carry.
Yeah, Diaz doesn't play around, man. For a guy that's running around at 5'6", 205, he definitely punches above his weight.
Yeah, this guy has a lot of power that's behind his little frame. Barry Sanders type light, So Shotgun formation here once again for St. Louis as they're sitting here at their 48-yard line. 3rd and 6, 2:41 left in the first quarter, and there's a 3-step drop here by Aso. Steps up in the pocket, gets pressured, and diving catch to Moss, and he comes. He looks like he drops the ball. They're great.
Yeah, look like there's definitely some hand fighting in there. I mean, I think they both tried to make a play on that ball, and it's just fortunate for both of them. I guess nobody came up with it.
Absolutely, great defensive pressure by the Red Devils. They're on St. Louis.
Yeah, Indianapolis secondary doesn't ignore the short zone or the short yardage throws. They definitely have a plan in place to stop those, to make you uncomfortable and force you to run.
And there's the punt here, and down and tackled at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, there was nowhere to go on that one.
And check out Richards Prince, the official SFL gear provided here for the SFL teams. Get your shirts, polos, jackets, anything is possible and built just for you with Richards Prince.
Yeah, actually, when I was with San Francisco last year, I went through Richards Prince, and they gave me a really great 3/4 zip pullover. It was all decked out. Can't wear it anymore now, but I'm looking to get one in the same model for the Fury here in a little bit.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you couldn't wear it no more because it wouldn't fit. It shrunk or something. I thought you were trying to throw a jab at the quality. But there's a first down here by Indianapolis. McCormick on that reception by Pepper. Take a look at the replay.
Then Pepper's got you can tell there's just a lesser degree of fear in his throws now, as opposed to last year when he was he was looking a little like a lot of Houston Texan quarterbacks we've seen in the past. They just get a little shaken up.
Absolutely. Here's a Twins left here for Peppers once again, and he gets a little pressure, and he dumps it off here to a tight end, and he picks up 2 yards on that play.
And a couple yards is a couple yards. I mean, 2nd and 8 is a lot more workable than 2nd and 10. It lends you towards if you've got a strong running game, you can try to get half those there and put you in a manageable 3rd down situation. So
I totally agree with you, Merrick. And that was Lindsey Walker, the tight end, on that reception there. And I understand why you say you can't wear it anymore because you're no longer under the San Francisco organization. And here's a handoff here to Swear Engine, and he picks up 1 yard on that play.
Yeah, I've got to save it for the alumni meetings, I'm sure, years from now. But for right now, it's a good snapshot of the first step.
Shout out to Show Business Studios, the official provider for the SFL convention, and we had an awesome time there at Show Business Studios. And here's Pepper, tip drill. Oh, just a drop pass here by the receiver on that play.
Okay, good coverage by Peltier there to definitely make sure the receiver didn't come down with it. Receiver, ultimate sin on offense. You never pop the ball up, and that's exactly what happened. He just set it up there like it was a volleyball, and he got real lucky. The defense did take advantage of that.
Yeah, you got to be a risky guy throwing it towards Peltier. This guy here came away with 2 INTs last week. That's not easy to come by.
No, not at all. And I think they know that. I think they've planned for him and just, maybe lost him in the coverage on that play. But Pepper's definitely got an eye on him.
Absolutely. And there's the punt here. And there's a man missed there on the punt.
It's Juan Moore, right? The wide receiver.
Absolutely, yeah, sure is.
Yeah, he made a first move. It was good. He's getting there.
Great juke move.
Yeah. It's definitely how you move up. That's how. Little flashes of that.
St. Louis comes out 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Strong I formation once again here for the Gladiators. And there's a 5-step drop here by the QB. Screen pass, and Diaz gets nothing, losing 2 yards on that reception, Merrick.
Yeah, and like I said, Indianapolis, they don't let the short yardage throws, they don't let that go without being challenged. They look at it as just important as stopping the run. So they're gonna have people out there. You're not gonna get that 5 to 7 yard chance that you got on most of those.
Yeah, St. Louis here got to get it going. Although they do have 7 on the board. Throwing a 2-yard loss is just not acceptable. And here we have Asel calling the audible here as he's in the shotgun all by himself. No help in the backfield. He takes a 3-step drop, goes through his progressions, got a man downfield, and he got the reception by Big 88, the tight end, Cody Scott.
Yeah, Cody Scott coming down with a great play. He just jumps up in the air and makes a play on the ball. You know, and that's what you expect from him. He's been around for a few seasons. This isn't his first game. He's not somewhat behind the ear rookie or anything like that. He knows when it's time to make a play for his team, even though they're up and they're at home. You can't sleep on this Red Devils team.
Absolutely. Cody is in his third year, in year 2 with the Gladiators. And what an awesome throw there by Aso. And he does have help in the backfield this time as he is still in the shotgun with the 3 wide receiver set formation. And Indianapolis looked like it does bring pressure, and he's going deep to the bottom of the field. That pass is tipped away by the defense. Great defensive play by Indianapolis, and the pass is broken up by Conley.
Yeah, it looked like ACL thought he had found something in the defense that he could exploit multiple times, and it's not very likely with the James Richards defense that you're going to find something that's going to be exploitable multiple times, like repetitively. They're not going to make that same mistake twice, and he almost pays for it.
Yeah, he almost paid for it. Throwing it in double coverage is like almost committing suicide. You're just asking for trouble, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of people out there in the secondary that are looking to come down with the ball. So
my apologies for that. I should have used a different analogy instead of using committing suicide. My apologies for that. Please excuse me. And that was the end of the first quarter, and St. Louis at the top of the second here. Twins to the bottom of the field. Here's a 3-step drop here by Aso, and he throws a dart, and he picks up. No! Almost the first down there. Throwing it out to the tight end. Benny Brazil on the reception there. What a dart by Aso.
Yeah, absolutely, and the coverage was tight. You just let him a little bit to the outside. Aso, showing his veteran status, and Cody came real close to picking up the first down there.
And here's a handoff here to Diaz. He should have stayed outside, but he tried to bounce it back inside, and he does pick up the first down, but he doesn't pick up anything else after that.
Well, it looks like Diaz gets a little bit of enjoyment out of running over those bigger guys out there in front of him. So he got the option to open field, or maybe I can knock a couple more guys down. He's cutting back inside.
Absolutely, I think this guy loves contact. If you ask me, that's what it seems like.
He just seems like he gets better every time he gets hit.
Dylan's in a shotgun formation once again. St. Louis has 3 wide receivers on the field. Diaz is in the backfield along with the QB. Gets a little pressure, but nothing doing on that pass as he tried to throw the ball intended to Tito Moss.
Indianapolis' secondary is like a really big dog that nobody ever messes with, but everybody pokes at. You know what I mean? But no one ever wants to get the wrath from the dog when they finally upset it enough. And you get all these throws out there. You can see them. They're sticking a little bit tighter to the receivers. They're poking things. Like, they're going to get bit, man. They keep throwing like that.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're talking about with the big dogs. I had one in my neighborhood I used to mess with all the time back in junior high. Oh, and that pass is darted to the receiver and almost picked away here by Von Sinek. The cornerback here, the key player of the defense for Indianapolis. I'm sorry, Sinek.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sinek. Yeah, he's undrafted. He's a rookie for the Red Devils out there. Definitely, showing what that veteran leadership on the rest of the teams, helping them progress faster than a normal rookie would,
Yes, sir. 3rd and 10 here for St. Louis at the Indianapolis 28-yard line. They're in field goal range. 3 wide receivers set once again here. In the shotgun is Aso. Gets pressure from the defense. Throws out past the first down line, and incomplete is what they're calling it, saying that the receiver caught the ball out of bounds. We really couldn't see
that. It looked like it. Yeah, it looked pretty good. It looked pretty good from where I was at.
Let's see if the coaches staff here for St. Louis is going to challenge. There goes the flag.
Yeah, kind of looked like we were going to have a second look at that.
Yeah,
usually when something, when it's 50-50 like that, you got to just put some more eyes on it. Let's make sure we make the right play here.
Absolutely. Look at this dart, man.
Oh, it was a perfect throw.
Yeah.
Just where do his feet come down?
Oh yes, that's a catch here in the SFL.
It looked like his back foot was looked pretty clear. His back foot was down.
Yeah, St. Louis looks like they're going to win this challenge here. And look at look at Richards on the sideline. He's heated.
The R62 coming through the correct decision.
Yeah, R62 is absolutely correct on that play there. You can't get mad, Richards.
I mean, every once in a while, I feel like we got to give him props when he gets things right. It's sad almost, but
absolutely. St. Louis loving this 3 wide receiver set with the running back and the fullback in the backfield, along with the QB. And there's a 3-step drop going to the end zone. Pass is tipped and batted away. by Ashley Ross Finch, the free safety of Indianapolis.
Yeah, she was not having any of that.
Absolutely. It's like, nope, we're going to deflect this. It's not going to be that easy because Aso sure did make it look that way. Like, I'm not worried about the pressure you're bringing me. I'm going to sit here, cool, calm, and collected. I'm just going to take a strike to the end zone. Same formation once again here for St. Louis. I wonder if this is the only one they have in the playbook. 3-step drop here by the QB. Dumps it off here to the fullback, Truckee. And Truckee is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing. 3rd and 10 for St. Louis at Indianapolis 14-yard line. What do you think they should do here, Merrick?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, you've got Indianapolis secondary is backed up now, right? So they're going to be more compact. Those zones are going to be tighter. Windows are going to be smaller. So I would give it to Diaz.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I threw a screen pass here to Diaz or get him on an out route somewhere in some open space because the back of the end zone is the 12th man on the field. And there's a pressure and sack. And Aso is brought down by the defensive line of Indianapolis. He goes down hard.
Yeah, and it looked like they were going for exactly what you just talked about. You can see Diaz cutting to the outside on a flat, and Aso just doesn't have enough time to get him the ball. He's surrounded by people over there.
Eric Riley comes away with that sack. That's the first sack of the game here for both teams, and he has just put a bunch of pressure on the QB, and St. Louis now has to settle for 3.
Yeah, I mean, for them, you got to look at the silver lining, I guess. I mean, you drove down strong. You're not coming out flat. Even though you got the lead, you're still staying aggressive, and you're putting more points on the board. So now it's a 2-score game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that field goal there brings St. Louis up by a 2-point possession. As you just stated, Merrick, 10-0. Is St. Louis over the Red Devils thus far in this game as we're still in the second quarter.
Now, you're still close to the top of the second quarter, so there's plenty of time for anything to happen here. I mean, it's the SFL. Our game yesterday is any indication. Things go crazy.
Absolutely. And there's the kickoff there for the Indianapolis Red Devils. And once again, you're watching the SFL Network on YouTube, presented by APM Music. Also, check out ScoreStream, the official live scoring app of the SFL, presented by APM Music as well. Here's the Indianapolis Red Devils coming out to the 30-yard line, split backs or the backs, and there's a handoff here to Swearingen, and he gets us trucking and going, picks up 7 yards on that play.
Yeah, Swearingen, that Indianapolis comes right back out. They're not getting away from their game plan. They're pushing up the middle to try to collapse this, bring more people in to back up that initial line of contact and soften up the defense so they can throw deep.
A great run there by Swearingen. As Indianapolis comes out to the 37-yard line. Split back is the running backs once again. McCormick to the bottom, and there's Daly to the top, and there's a shot to Daly, and he picks up the first down, get both toes in before stepping out.
That was a real veteran move there because they need the first down, and it's clearly available. He's wide open over on there on the edge. So you don't, as you get older, I think as you've been around here more seasons, you don't let those first down guaranteed first downs. You don't let them pass.
And it looks like St. Louis is going to challenge this. Can they go 2 for 2? And let's see here. Did he get his? Oh, look, he got. Well, I can't tell. It looks like he got one in, but I can't tell if his foot was in or if it was half of it was out of bounds or what.
The pass has been ruled incomplete. The catch was made out of bounds.
No, it looks like it came down out of bounds, I guess. I mean, we didn't have a great eye on it, but
it looked like they overturned it. He's stating that he didn't get it.
I mean, it's all right. 3rd and 3 still plenty manageable.
And here's Indianapolis, 3rd and 3, 7:55 left here in the second quarter. Pepper on a 2-step drop, goes through his progression, throws a sidearm pass deep down the middle, and that pass is incomplete.
Yeah, Bo Nose almost came down with that too. It looked like he like bounced off of the receiver into his hands, or off of him into the receiver's hands. Ryan Quaid coming out to punt.
Yep, and Indianapolis is going to settle for the punt here. If they lose that that challenge that St. Louis decided to throw the flag on for after the Dan Daly's first down. And there's the punt here by the punter and stopped. Nothing doing here for the return guy of Juan Moore. Stopped at the 26-yard line. Indianapolis has to get something going here on defense. They really need to get a turnover.
Yeah, I always look at it like if you can get the start of your drive at the 30 or better, then you've got no excuse to come away with points on the board. So St. Louis has got it. Looks like they've got it at the 26. So if they just push deep and then pin Indianapolis, and that probably also be acceptable to this. Continue to add to their lead.
Absolutely. Here's a handoff here to Diaz as he bounces outside and he picks up 4 yards on that play there. Great run there, but he came against someone who was just a little bit bigger than he is.
Yeah, you notice they hit him at the same time, right? Neither one of them wanted to get put down one-on-one.
Absolutely. And here's Truckee and Diaz in the backfield here with Asu in the shotgun. 3 wide receiver set once again. As I stated, they love this formation here. And he goes to the bottom of the field, and that pass is broken up, intended for Moss, Tito Moss that is, but nothing doing.
Now that happens sometimes. The pass is just a little bit off, and he just couldn't adjust to it. It's in traffic, so it's acceptable. Everybody gets one.
Three wide receiver sets here once again for St. Louis in this shotgun formation. Nickel formation is the defense of Indianapolis, and Asu gets a little pressure, throws to the bottom of the field, and that pass is broken up and incomplete. 4th and 6, and the Gladiators have to kick it right back to the Red Devils.
Yeah, and I expect that to be something that St. Louis is going to take a look at during halftime, is their tendencies to throw to those short out routes and stuff like that, just because Indianapolis, as I've said a couple times, I think, they don't let that stuff go. They've got plays in there to stop that. So Absolutely. You're just running the risk of a pick six.
I agree with you. And both teams are, as I stated earlier in the introduction, that both teams here are looking to get past the 500 mark as they both sit 1-1. Going up 2-1 in the East would be a benefit to either one of these teams as they're in that race for the SFL playoffs.
And as a team who missed the playoffs by virtue of like a four-way tie, every game in the season matters. So they're both fighting hard for this W.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right there. As Indianapolis did make the playoffs last year, but ended up losing in the second round to the Tallahassee Pride last season in season 10 playoff run. There's a handoff here to Swear Engine, and he picks up 4 yards on that run there. Great running.
Yeah, and I think what happened with Indianapolis last year is that they were still trying to find their identity. And by the time they had gotten to the playoffs, I mean, they pretty much had everything figured out. They've gone through some personnel changes, so it's it's one of the things to watch because they pushed Tallahassee pretty hard in the playoffs, and it's interesting to see the changes they make due to personnel.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-4 formation is the defense here. Don't see that very much in the SFL. And there's a handoff here to Swear Engine. He spin moves, makes a guy miss, and he picks up a gang load of yards and a first down to go along with it.
Yeah, and that's probably why you don't see that a whole lot in the SFL is that 3-4 defense. It's not a good setup against most SFL offenses. It's like that's the first thing they learn is how to tear apart man defense and the 3-4 set. So it's one of those things you want to stay away from if you can.
Absolutely. If you're going to run a 3-4 defense, you got to have a big plug there in the middle, and you got to have some linebackers that can run and get to the ball carrier because it's a run stop defense. And there's a handoff here to Swear Engine once again, and he loses a yard on that play.
Yeah, and and it looks like when they're not getting immediate penetration to the secondary, that St. Louis is handling him a lot better. They're stopping him. He wasn't able to break it all the way to the outside. He doesn't get past the linebacker core. So.
Absolutely. Give credit to Colin Douglas coming away with the tackle on Swearingen on that last play as Douglas came away with 2 interceptions himself last week versus the Pharaohs. And there's a swing pass here to the fullback as he picks up nothing on the play.
No, that was an outstanding open field tackle by Ethan Kai.
Frank Castle, that is, on the reception. I've never seen a fullback that small, 6 feet, 205. Trips left to the top of the field here for Indianapolis, and Pepper going through progression. Got a man open in the middle of the field, and that pass is caught and completed at the 31-yard line.
That was outstanding patience by Pepper to let that route develop. You know, he saw that he was going to be open about 4 yards, and he was confident to sit there. He was confident in the stability of the pocket to sit there and wait until that window became available. Then he puts it right where he needs to.
You're right about that. It looks like the Gladiators were in a two hard formation, and Hamill just went right between the two cornerbacks there, the nickel and the outside corner, and he just found an open zone. And there's a handoff here to the halfback, and he gets bounced backwards. Swearingen, that is, hitting hard by Masters.
It was interesting that as soon as that play started to develop, I thought they were onto something there with that trap play, but I was definitely wrong because they didn't go anywhere.
And here's the offset I here for Indianapolis, and Swearingen to dot the I. And here's a stretch play here as he keeps it bounced to the bottom of the field. Spin moves as he tries to, nothing doing, but he picks up the first down. Great run there by the halfback.
Yeah, and that's a really good example of the different types of runs you're going to see between him and Diaz, because Diaz isn't going for the spin move there. He's just going to drop his shoulder. And it's sometimes it just that spin move's great when people are diving for you, but when someone's already got you squared up in the field, you gotta go through them.
Split back formation here for the halfbacks, and 3 wide receivers set. And here's a handoff here to Swearingen. He's nothing doing. Bounced and hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Picks up 1 yard.
Yeah, he got smashed there, but credit to him, he popped right back up.
And he's hit hard by the big inside linebacker, Ajumu Afolabi. Great hit there. Great way to target the runner there and bring him down. Twins to the top of the field, Indianapolis, and 2-step drop here by Pepper. Throws a lame duck across the middle of the field, and that pass is dropped by McCormick.
Coverage was really tight. It was a 50-50 ball. So
yeah, McCormick is not a guy that you often see drop balls. He's normally sure-handed.
Yeah, I think you were onto something with the delivery there. I mean, Pepper looked like he was getting hit right as he threw it, so can't expect a 100% perfectly thrown ball as your body's getting jerked out from under you.
Offset eye of the halfbacks, 3 wide receiver set here for the Red Devils as they're inside of the 20 of St. Louis, and there's a pass down to the bottom of the field to McCormick, and not enough to pick up the first down as they're going to have to settle for 3.
No, that's a great first down play that picks you up a couple yards, but really bad third down play because that's not going to pick you. It's not going to get you your first down. That's what you got to be thinking on third down every time.
And there's the snap, and the kick is up. And it splits the upright for the 33-yarder is good. Indianapolis finally get themselves on the board as we're in this 10-3 ball game here in St. Louis between the Gladiators and the Red Devils. What do you think about that drive, Merrick?
Yeah, it really changes the complexion of the game. One score, that can happen anywhere. It can happen on a kickoff return. It can happen on a pick six. That just makes the game a lot more dynamic than being down by more than one score.
Absolutely. There's the kickoff here for the Red Devils, and St. Louis takes the return from the 10-yard line, and Moore gets it out to the 30-yard line. Great field position there on the return. Picks up
right
20.
At the 30. That's what you're hoping for every time as on offense.
They're asking in the chat who caught Pepper's first INT. It was Bo Nose.
Yes, sir.
The outside linebacker.
And he almost came in with a second one later on in the game.
Absolutely.
They'll definitely be accounted for after halftime.
There's a handoff here to Diaz. He puts a hat down, try to run one guy over after picking up 3 yards, but he stopped at the 33. 2 minutes and 33 seconds left here in the first half of this ball game here in St. Louis.
Indianapolis has done a great job of adjusting to this running attack from St. Louis, where they're making sure they're hitting Diaz with enough people to stop him immediately so he doesn't have a chance to go through somebody.
Absolutely. Diaz is in the slot now. No running backs in the backfield. And Azel goes deep, got a man downfield. And it is the big tight end, Cody Scott, comes away with a big reception with 2 minutes left on the clock as the 2-minute warning strikes. Take a look at the replay.
That was a great attack, deep down the center of the field. He just, he blew the top off the defense, and they're trying to catch up to him. They made great heads-up play by Paul Connolly to save that touchdown, and not get shrugged off because Cody Hill's not a small man. So,
and absolutely, that's how you throw a deep post right down the middle of the field. You lead the receiver. You don't throw it right at him where that the defense has a chance to come through and deflect the ball or even pick it off. You lead the receiver to the pass. That was a great throw there by Azel.
Yeah, exactly. You got to throw it to where he's going to be, not where he's at.
Absolutely. Here's a handoff here to Diaz. Oh, great move to cut it back inside. Stiff arm a guy, and he picked up the first down. The little general.
Stole somebody's soul out there.
The little general is snatching hearts with that stiff arm.
that was amazing. I don't know who he hit with that first one, but might want to check him out during halftime.
Wow. Somebody need to check that guy's pulse to see if he has a heartbeat.
They're pushing strong, yeah. St. Louis is pushing for that 2-score lead.
Absolutely. Azel on the snap here. Got Simien in the middle of the field, and is intercepted here by the defense of Indianapolis. Great defensive stop. Coming away with that turnover there for the defense is Blake Craze.
Blake be crazy.
He just
the outside linebacker. Yeah, he's if somebody was going to bite you on that team, it was going to be him. And
absolutely.
He threw into his zone. He was not having it.
And Blake Crazy is a week 2 signing. He just came on to the ball club. This is his first game of the season.
I mean, you can see why they picked him up. After waving some talent that didn't work for one reason or another.
And off to Swearingen. And off to Swearingen, right up the middle. Yeah, great run there by Swearingen to get his team off of the goal line. What a defensive play there by Blake Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he gives Pepper an opportunity to drive back up the field and maybe tie this game going into the half, with it's a very big deal when you're playing away.
Absolutely.
St. Louis being tied at halftime at home, that's a way different situation.
Indianapolis needs something big here. There's another handoff here to Swearingen as he picks up nothing, getting back to the line of scrimmage. I guess they're probably just going to run the clock out as there's 46 seconds and ticking left here on the clock.
Yeah, it could be they're just happy they're not down by 2 scores again, so they're content to run the clock out, go into halftime. Maybe they figured something out and they don't want to give St. Louis any more time to catch on that they figured it out.
Here's a trip to the bottom of the field here for Pepper, and Pepper gets pressured, and he's brought down in the backfield. Now the St. Louis Gladiators calls for a timeout. And on that sack,
going to get the ball back now.
On that sack is Afolabi. Great defensive pressure here by the inside linebacker coming up with the sack.
He's an incredibly disruptive player up there on the line.
24 seconds here left on the clock in the first half. Indianapolis unable to move the ball on the interception. And there's the punt. And there's a fair catch here called by Moore. St. Louis
has great field position here.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say that. St. Louis has great field position at their very own 35-yard line. You guess you can say they're in field goal range.
Yeah, it looks like they're already in field goal range. So we'll see if they get greedy and go deep, or 18 seconds left. They might take one shot.
Absolutely. There's a look at Joe Namath. Dylan Ace.
The way he's been running around.
Gets a little pressure there, dodges a guy, and sacked and brought down. And Indianapolis is going to rush back to the line of scrimmage. Is he going to spike it? I
don't know. It looks like St. Louis went into the hurry up.
And he's going to go for a pass. Pump fakes. He brought down and sacked once again. St. Louis calls for their another timeout here. Wow, great defensive pressure by Indianapolis to not allow St. Louis to get any type of progression.
Yeah, it looked like Acel's pride might have gotten in the way there. Instead of calling a timeout,
Yeah,
kept trying to, tried to tin cup it and go after it over and over again. It just didn't work out.
absolutely.
2 sacks in a row.
And
Might have knocked him out of field goal range.
And he gets chewed out there by the head coach for
3
not.
points is 3 points.
You're absolutely right. Now it's 3rd and 18. You got to go Hail Mary situation here with 3 seconds left on the ticker. Acel calling the signal. Defense is set and ready to go as they're in cover 12. There's a little pressure coming in from the outside free safety. And that passes up and nothing doing. Tipped away. And that's the half. As we go into halftime here, 10-3 is the St. Louis Gladiators up on the Indianapolis Red Devils.
Yeah, I think St. Louis is really going to hope that that doesn't come back to bite them, that they don't lose that 3 points that they had for sure. They could have just kicked it and been good. So.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And Merrick, what did you think so far of the first half and what you expect in the second?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised how many balls have been thrown given these two defenses. I expected a lot more rushing than I did passing early on, and even with the success that Diaz had early on against Indianapolis, it doesn't look like St. Louis is going back to that well in the second quarter. So maybe they were keeping him rested for the third quarter, or to come back up and hit hard with them in the second half again. I'm not sure. It kind of remains to be seen. And then for Indianapolis, they're going. They're attacking all over the place. They don't hit you with a knockout punch. They hit you with jab after jab after jab after jab, and then when you leave your guard open, then they go hard. So credit to St. Louis's secondary for being able to hold them off so far.
Absolutely. The secondary of St. Louis is probably one of the best here in the SFL. As I stated earlier, they came with 5 picks in one game last week. That's not easy to come by, man. That's just great defense.
No, not at all. No, and from covering Eli McCormick last season with San Francisco, he's not going to be happy with the amount of yards he has right now. I'd look for him to come out hard in the second half, because he's not going to be sitting there content with himself and his effort right now.
I think we're going to see a pass-heavy second half.
Secondaries love those pass-heavy second halves.
Absolutely. I think we're going to see a pass-heavy second half here by both these teams. It's just my prediction. Not sure if this is going to be accurate or not, but that's what I'm predicting. That's what I'm hoping to see. I want to see some air it out, back and forth, high-flying, passes going on and so forth as we get ready toward the second half here and get this thing going. 22 minutes left of football here for these two teams. See if St. Louis can keep this lead.
I'm hoping they just come out with Diaz hard and fast. I mean, they've got a lead. He's got a hold. He's had halftime to rest and kind of get those legs woken up. I'd like to see him go crack a few more skulls.
And Merrick, can I ask, were you able to watch any of the earlier games today?
Honestly, my work with Las Vegas is keeping me pretty busy, so I haven't had a chance. I didn't even catch our game until about 2:30 in the morning last night. So I've got them all on the docket to watch earlier, but I get to them when I can.
Awesome. First,
I definitely make sure you got to make the Twitch ones, because your numbers are important. So
most definitely, St. Louis once again in this shotgun formation. This has been the only shotgun formation I've seen them in all game. And two-step drop here by Acel. He gets pressured, makes a man miss, and got a strike to Diaz, and is incomplete. Threw it behind the halfback.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Kudos for Acel for keeping it alive as long as he did. He's got people bouncing off of him, and it makes it look like a catchable ball he threw to Diaz there, and Diaz just kind of looks like he misjudged it and dropped a little too early.
Absolutely. I thought he was going to go down there on the sack, but great way to get a duck and dodge on the defender.
That's almost as important for Acel to get that halftime rest as it is for Diaz, because they're both so agile and they're so hard to take down.
I am for now and ever labeling this formation the St. Louis Gladiators formation. and there's Acel. He goes down on a sack there. He gets pressure. I guess you can call that a cover sack, because he had more than 3 seconds there in the pocket to find an open guy. He just couldn't find anyone.
Indianapolis is really good at keeping the initial look of their defense disguised so that it forces the quarterbacks to make that play after the ball's height, or it might make those determinations after the ball's height. So even though they don't have everybody covered, quarterback thinks they do half the time.
And Ace going deep down the middle of the field. He got the strike and got his receiver. It's Tito Moss. This guy is having a ball game.
Like I was saying, man,
not really.
Everybody gets one, and he had his drop earlier, but he comes down with a great makeup catch here.
Awesome throw. He threw it before the guy even came out of his cut. That's a good QB.
Yeah, I think the problem with ACL is like it looks like when he goes on those deep routes, he does a great job of placement with the ball and throwing ahead of the receiver. But those shorter, the shorter coverage, the short and medium distance throws, looks like he tries to force it in there.
I totally agree with you. And here is a looks like weak eye formation and handoff here up the middle to Diaz. It looks like ISO, and he picks up 2 yards there on the carry.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you pushing through contact as you come to expect now if you've been watching so far. And it looked like it should have been a stop for negative yards, and he ends up with he ended up with 2.
And the Gladiators comes out in the Gladiators 3 wide set formation. And here's a 3-step drop here by Asu. Goes to the progression, dodges right, and throws it out of bounds to the fullback. Was that the fullback or the tight end? I believe that is the fullback. Yes, it was. Truckee.
Was that Chucky Stick?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And just not realizing. Yeah, I mean, he's a fullback, so you got to give it. I mean, he turned the wrong way for the ball, turned his body in the wrong position, put him out of bounds before he caught it. So he'll pick up on that, especially if ACL continues to involve him in the offense in that way.
Gladiators 3 wide receiver set. Diaz and Truckee in the backfield with Asu. Asu looks in, throws it out to Diaz, and he catches it. Oh, my goodness. What a catch by the halfback.
Did you see the one-handed scoop catch that Diaz just pulled off?
My goodness. Can we get a replay of that thing? Oh, they're not going to give it to us. Hopefully
we'll see it. Yeah, we'll see it in the SFL Blitz this week.
Yeah, you stick that right out of my mouth. I was like, maybe we can see it on the Blitz. You know, that was a great catch there. Wow.
Oh, that's a poster child play for that show.
And Asu is calling an audible here. Doesn't like what he sees, but maybe he does see something he does like. 3 wide receiver set, and Diaz is on the bottom of the field, and oh, that pass is incomplete.
Yeah, it looks like he just dropped it. When he hit him in the hands, I don't think the defender beat him there.
Yeah, intended for Nick Finch. You got to come away with that catch there, son. Anything that touches your hands, you got to grab it. You got to pull it in.
Yeah, like when your last name has any similarities with a bird, and you jump into the air, that's when people are expecting you to perform.
Absolutely. Especially when you jump that high as he did. Everyone's looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone is looking for you to come down with that, so everyone can go, oh, he got mossed. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Another handoff here to Diaz, the little general, out to the left side of the field, picks up maybe 2 yards on that carry.
Diaz did a really good job avoiding the initial contact behind the line there and just outrunning the pursuit, but great open field tackle.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because I did see that. I thought he was going to get hit in the backfield, or at least right at the line of scrimmage, but he picks up 2 additional yards by getting away from that initial tackle. And the Gladiators are in their normal set of the 3 wide receivers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lofts it over the top of the head to Diaz, and that thing was floating and bouncing around.
Yeah, we had some pinball out there. I mean, anybody could have came up with that ball. I think there were 6 people with their hands on it.
Absolutely, and here comes Martin Matthew with the neck roll, coming out for getting ready to.
That's for the fake. You just got to be. Away. Yeah, he's ready to surprise you with that fake run.
And this is going to be a 41 yard field goal here for the Gladiators. This should be a cheap shot. There's the snap. There's the kick is up. And it splits to upright. And the Gladiators goes up 13-3, up by 10 more points here for this St. Louis Gladiators team.
Yeah, that's what you hope for every time the kicker goes out there. Splits the uprights, come away with some more points. They're back up by 10. You gotta be feeling pretty confident when you're already into the third quarter. You're at home. You're up by 2 scores. Like that's a good place to be.
I totally agree with you. The kicking style of the St. Louis Gladiators kicker looks like he's going to kick it onside, but he's a straight-legged kicker. He doesn't kick soccer style.
No, it gives him more. It gives him more momentum, so he can get down the field and make tackles.
Absolutely, and look at Moore, the return guy for the St. Louis, coming down and getting the tackle on Andrews.
Yeah, Andrews hold up pretty well. Given his relative newness to the team, he's taking those shots. I mean, it's not easy to do. It's definitely one of the most concerning moments in any of the exchanges. There is the kickoff return, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. Here's Pepper on a 5-step drop going across the middle of the field. He got the target, and that pass is caught, picks up 5 yards there. It looks like Dan Daly on the reception.
Yeah, and this is what St. Louis does. They're going to start pulling you in with those short throws that just kind of irritate you because you're not covering them. They're not momentous in and of themselves, but they get bothersome. So you start to correct for it, and then they go deep on the sides.
There was a handoff there to Swearingen, and he
It looks like the defense saw that.
Yeah, they saw that one thing. They saw that thing coming.
Yeah, they must have had that red because.
Here's a 5-step drop here by Pepper going to the top of the field. Got his receiver. Looks like McCormick on that play there. Comes away with the first down as well.
Yeah, McCormick looking very aggressive out there on that route. Normally, you'll see a lot of receivers just kind of, not pay attention to the specific route, and they'll run it right out of bounds, or they'll run it. But McCormick's got, the knowledge where he needs to go, where he needs to cut to catch that ball and actually gain yards from it.
It's a 7-step drop here by Peppers. Got his receiver, Dan Daly, to the bottom of the field, and he picks up a gang of yards on that reception there. Great route by Daly.
Yeah, Daly just blew he just hurt the coverage there on St. He's one-on-one with that cornerback. Cornerback gets beat, and then helps not over fast enough. You can see him coming in, number 21, coming in at the end of the frame, but it was not quick enough.
And I think we may see Keith Swearingen here on this play here. He may get a handoff as he has a nice gain of yard. Oh, there's a blitz and a sack there by, is that Scott LaRue?
Oh, that's Scott LaRue.
Awesome play there. Great defensive play there by LaRue.
Yeah, Scott's going to get his sack every game. So you can see me just spins right past number 60 and just plants Pepper.
Wow.
It's all right though. Pepper's still on his feet a lot more. So I think he's willing to accept a sack every once in a while for the added firepower he's got on this offense.
Absolutely. I thought he was going to give it to Swearingen because he has 126 yards last week versus Baltimore and 109 versus Tallahassee. They have not been getting him involved. There's a swing pass to him there, but he picks up 1 yard on that play. 30-14.
A great spin move by Swearingen to avoid that initial hit because someone was coming for him there. He went about 5 yards past him. Just unfortunate that he spun into his blocker and didn't make it past the contact.
3rd-and-14 here for the Indianapolis Red Devils at the St. Louis 31-yard line. 3 wide receiver set split on the halfbacks. And Pepper has all day long, and he gets pressured. Looks like LaRue once again. No, it's not LaRue. And that is Perp on that defensive pressure there.
Is that Mandrake again?
Mandrake Perp, yes, sir.
Well, I mean, there's a reason they picked him up from Oklahoma City. He's disruptive. He's out there. He's going to be in your face. He's not going to give Pepper time to breathe. But Indy's still going to be happy with the field goal here.
Absolutely.
I mean, 6-13's not 10-13, but
this is going to be a 48-yarder here for Indianapolis. Oh, that pass! I mean, that kick could have been blocked there, and he splits the upright.
Drills it from 48.
Wow, what a kick!
Roman Pena.
I don't even think I drive that far.
Out there. Right?
13-6 Gladiators up over the Red Devils so far in this game. 5 minutes and 19 seconds left here in the third quarter. And there's more on the return. Gets out to the 29-yard line.
A good special teams coverage by Indianapolis there to stop them at the 25.
Absolutely.
And you should see a rejuvenated Indianapolis defense now. Now that they're within striking distance of tying this game up. I mean, they only need one touchdown. So
Absolutely.
I'd look for them to be a little bit more opportunistic.
You're absolutely right. This is still anyone's ball game here. Any team can break out and run away with it. St. Louis once again in their St. Louis 3-set formation. And there's a dump pass off to the fullback of Truckee Steck, and he loses a yard on that reception.
Yeah, it looks like he he blew a tire on his way out on that turn because he just ate it. There's nobody around him.
I formation here is the Gladiators. 5-step drop here by Asu. Gets pressure, makes a man miss. He steps up into the pocket. He has all day long. Now he decides to run it, and he picks up about 15 yards on that play. 1st and 10 on the run and scramble of Dylan Asu.
Yeah, it's very Steve Young-esque, man. He's in there, and he's willing to throw deep, and he's got an arm on him, but he is not afraid to take it out. I mean, that's the 3rd or 4th time we've seen him run. It's the 2nd first down he's picked up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And maybe that's why they like such a large form, or a group formation on the line, is just because it gives them more options there.
Absolutely. Here's Diaz on the handoff, picking up 5 on that scamper. The offense was in a weak I formation, and he took advantage of it.
Yeah, if anything, St. Louis's offense is very methodical. You know, they know exactly what they want to do, and they're gonna push your defense around until they get you in the spot where they need you.
Absolutely. St. Louis coming out in a 3-wide receiver set with a tight end at the bottom of the field as well. No running backs here. Looks like Diaz is in the slot. And it is Diaz in the slot. There's an out route to Diaz. He picks up maybe a yard after being hit and brought down.
Yeah, that's the difference between Indianapolis's defense and most other SFL defenses, is that they've got enough of that short yardage coverage stuff in there to stick with it even after you start pushing them where they might go a different direction. They'll stick with it. So when you go back to it, it's not there.
Absolutely. Corey Lake on the tackle. Oh, that pass is almost picked off by Finch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Finch that was almost a pick 6. There was nobody touching homie. If he caught that, he was gone.
Asu tried to be sneaky like a little snake, and Finch almost came up big time because no one was going to catch him if he caught that ball.
Yeah, it's hard when your confidence builds up as a QB. I mean, we saw it with Pepper earlier, and you're seeing it with ACL now, where they've made a couple of, pro SFL throws, and they just think every throw is going to be that precise, and they're just not.
Unfortunately, St. Louis has to punt the ball back over to Indianapolis, and let's see if the Red Devils can take advantage of this defensive stop and get something going for their offense here.
If they do, they're going to have 90 yards to work with.
Yeah, they got to get
86 yards to work with. Yeah,
they got to do something, get something going here. They haven't. Swearingen, he has been, getting the load, but he just haven't been as productive as the previous 2 weeks. No big runs, no big power runs at all. Just been very mediocre thus far this game. I formation here is the halfbacks. Swearingen dots the I, and he gets the handoff up the middle of the field, spin move, and he's blowed up by Colin Douglas at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, Colin Douglas was not having any of that. He let him through just enough and timed his hit perfect right as he spun around. He got all of it. But I think the issue with Indianapolis and Swearingen's performance today isn't necessarily on him. It's just that there's a couple teams in this league, Sioux Falls, St. Louis, that they're known for their run defense. They've got those plays in there, and their players know what to do.
And there's another handoff here to Swearingen up to the top of the field, and he breaks it out to the 50, the 40, and he's brought down at the 37-yard line of St. Louis. We just talked about him not picking up any type of big plays, and the guy runs off for a 45-yarder.
Yeah. He must have an earpiece in, because he did not like what was coming out of the booth. He shut me up pretty effectively there, because he just did everything I said he wasn't going to do.
Absolutely. Somebody's listening to us here on the SFL network.
I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past him to be listening. Just if they need an extra little bit of fuel.
And Indianapolis is trips left here to the bottom of the field. There's another handoff here to Swearingen up the middle of the field. Picks up 2 yards on that carry. Now at the St. Louis 35-yard line. 1 minute and 45 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Yeah, Indianapolis starting to tie the game up here. They're doing a pretty good job of driving down the field on the back of Swearingen right now.
Peppers on a 3-step drop, goes across the middle of the field. That was a dangerous pass. Looks like that was Ricks there on the deflection. 3rd and 8 here for Indianapolis. Trips to the top of the field here for Indianapolis. Swearingen in the backfield. Takes a 2-step drop by Pepper. Throws a dart to the top of the field. That pass is incompleted. St. Louis comes away with the stop. But the Indianapolis Red Devils are in field goal range, and they're going to come out and try to kick this thing away.
Yeah, I expect the Gladiators, I'd expect the Red Devils to go for the points here. I mean, they're close to. Oh no, they're going for a punt.
Oh wow, they're going to punt this thing away.
They're at the 30. Yeah, well, they're 35. Maybe that's right at the edge of his range.
I would say, give me a try, coach. Give me a try.
Right? Yeah, like I can do it. Let me take one kick at it. But I mean, pretty decent. Looks like they almost put it up to the 20. Yeah, they got to the 19. So
yeah,
it's a good trade-off for St. Louis, and Indianapolis doesn't come away with points, and kind of no damage taken.
There's a look at Castle speaking to the troops. Come on, guys. We got to get this turnover here. Got to get back in this ball game for the offense. 3 wide receivers is the Gladiators. Diaz and Steck in the backfield with Acel. And there's a 3-step drop here by the QB. Goes to the top of the field. That pass is tipped and picked off by the defense of Indianapolis. They was waiting on that tip drill to happen. Come away with the INT is Steve Vitek.
Yeah, Steve Vitek over there making things happen. Mighty's going to have to look at this play and break it down, because you can see Indianapolis fake a blitz and then drop back into coverage, and it worked perfectly because ACL threw right to where the hole in the defense would have been with that blitz. And instead, there was, Red Devils waiting for it.
Absolutely. As Thad Castle was just telling the troops, we got to get a turnover, and that is what just happened. Split backs or the halfbacks here. 3 wide receivers for the Red Devils. 1 minute left here in the third quarter. Sorry about that. And there's a handoff here to Swearingen. He picks up 6.
Yeah, Swearingen doing a great job of getting to the second level and, putting it on the secondary to stop him, and not, the big bodies up front with that sidestep. And then I'm glad he's not relying on the spin move every single run, because balls pop out that way.
Trips to the top of the field here for the Red Devils, and Pepper decides to run it after getting pressure. Picks up a few yards, almost the first down. And is he limping?
It's the first time you're ever going to see Pepper get sacked for a gain of yards on the play, because it looked like he just got knocked forward like 2 yards. But, I mean, he stepped up, and it's just momentum-wise. Good for him. He wins even when he's sacked.
Absolutely, and the crowd here is calling for the defense. Twins to the top of the field in the offset eye here for the Red Devils. Looks like the Gladiators are bringing pressure, and they does. And Swearingen is stopped in the backfield with the 3-yard loss. Great hit by the big fella.
Oh, that was Scott LaRue. Pulling him down. Yes, sir.
I wonder if LaRue is from Louisiana. That sounds like a Louisiana name.
And I hope so.
If he is, I bet he's hollering out Lazy Le Bonto Roulette. Let the good times roll, baby. Let the good times roll.
Jay's probably saying it every time he's rolling up somebody in a tackle out there. He's just whispering it to him as he's rolling with them.
Now Indianapolis has to settle for the field goal. And there's the kick. Is it up? And he misses that one. Looks like it went right. He may have hooked it. Just a little bit too far. Pena, that is.
That's rough, man. Pena missing the chip shot. It looks like, well, I mean, it looks like he made good contact. He's just, like you said, he just hooked it a little bit wide right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker for Indianapolis, not coming away with anything there.
Very heartbreaking. Indianapolis, I know they got to be really upset with themselves for not getting into the end zone as we just crossed into the fourth quarter here.
Yeah, St. Louis still in the driver's seat.
Absolutely. 3 wide receivers set here for the Gladiators. 2-step drop here by Aso, doing a dart to the bottom of the field, and that looked like he got both toes in on the sideline, and that is Nick Finch.
Yeah, Finch doing a great job of selling that he had both of his feet in bounds there. It looked like he was good. I mean, he his field presence is evident. He's dragging one foot. He's got the other foot firmly planted when he makes a catch. So
absolutely,
I don't think anything to argue there.
In the chat, someone say Louisiana. It's got LaRue.
Yeah, that's good.
4 wide receivers here for the Gladiators. Empty backfield, and Asu goes deep once again.
Man,
and he has Finch down to the 31-yard line. What a catch.
We were talking way too much trash about him earlier. Now he's jumping all over the field, making these grabs. Look at this. He just burns the coverage. It's up in the air. Perfect catch. Exactly what you want from a receiver when they're in the air. Catches it with both hands, watches it all the way in, protects it, hits the ground.
Double in and out route. Post corner for the receiver, Finch, that is. Strong eye formation once again here for the Gladiators. They've been in this set pretty much all game, and this was like a screen pass out to Diaz, and he picks up maybe a yard, not even a yard, maybe a few inches or so. They're going to give it to him.
I think that was the best result they were going to come away with that play, because Asil was about to get hit pretty hard in the backfield, and I think he got rid of it just in time. So positive. Well, it doesn't look like they gave him any yards. Oh, did they not give him the catch?
They maybe not. It looks like he caught it inbounds, but maybe he stepped out right at the.
I just caught for no gain. Okay.
Yeah. 3 wide receivers set here once again for the Gladiators. Diaz is in the backfield, is going to stay in and pick up a blocker. Oh, what a block by Diaz. Oh, an INT here by this Indianapolis secondary.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah, going back to the well from earlier in the game, the deep middle of the field, and Indianapolis was waiting for him that time.
Ashley Rose Finch comes away here with the INT. But, man, that pass was intended for Tito Moss. But you should have saw the block that little Diaz put on the blitzing linebacker.
Oh, man. Yeah, and Ashley's probably just sitting there a little irritated. She was kicking last year, and I don't think she missed very many. So maybe she felt like she had to go out there and make the difference on her own.
3-4 defense are the Gladiators, and they showing blitz, and Swearingen, gets so nothing on that carry. Bo knows with the tackle, 3rd of the day for him.
That's all you can ask for him. He's got 3 tackles. He's got a pass deflection and an interception.
Yes, sir.
What else do you want from your D lineman? Or no, I'm sorry, he's an outside linebacker, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Split back for the halfbacks here for Indianapolis, and they give it to Swearingen up the middle of the field on a weak dive, and he picks up maybe 4 on the carry.
Yeah, he just got murked by Ferdinand Peltier, though.
Yeah, he sure did.
3rd
and 6 here for the Red Devils. 9 minutes and 13 seconds left on the ticker.
I mean, and that was a great read by Peltier, because he's got to come all the way from the free safety position to make that contact.
Absolutely. And Peppers goes deep, and that pass is picked off.
Back with the pick.
And Peltier once again comes away with an INT of his own. I'll take that right back.
Right. So that's some inspired defensive plays here. Yeah, Ashley Rose coming up with the pick, and then Peltier right back.
Yeah, it looks like Pepper had a guy in his face. He just throws a lame. Well, that wasn't a lame duck. That was a lame strike.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good landing, just wrong landing spot.
Absolutely. And there's a look at Cody Scott there, the big tight end here for the Gladiators, as they're in a 2 wide receiver set. Split back on the halfbacks. 1-step drop by the QB. Got Scott across the middle of the field. 1st and 10 here for the Gladiators as they're moving upfield at the Indianapolis Red Devils 17-yard line.
Yeah, Cody Scott has to be accounted for on every single play. He's just hurt the Red Devils too many times this game. And I mean, they're just playing the seams. They're right in between those two coverages where all those zones end. There's this no man's land where you got to really be on your assignments to make the right play, and he's just eating them up there.
Absolutely. Single back. Empty formation now with the Gladiators. Diaz is in the slot to the right as he comes underneath, and Azel pumps fake, goes to the bottom of the field. Got some man. There's a penalty on the play. Is it going to give him the catch?
I'm not sure. I mean, Nick Finch. If they don't take that away from him somehow, that was a great catch.
Absolutely. I was thrown off by the penalty. Looks like there's a pass interference. Is it on the offense or the defense?
Nope, against the defense.
Against the defense. And did they decline? And they did decline. It's 1st and 10 at the 3-yard line here for the Gladiators.
VTAC was just a little bit too angsty. Just got a little bit too involved, trying to get that pick back. They're having this interception war right now.
Absolutely. You can't have any type of contact with the receiver as he's going for that pass. Now, you can fight for it, but you can't touch him.
Right. Worst case scenario, too, because you're fighting with the receiver that'll actually come down with that ball still.
Handoff into the Little General. He gets into the end zone. Touchdown.
Yeah, Little General commanding his forces, as all of his blockers were there. Picked up all their assignments. He basically walked in.
St. Louis jumps up top big with that touchdown there.
Yeah, it's tough when you play any team at home because you can feel like you're playing them real tight, and then fourth quarter they've always got something left. It's really hard to climb uphill in the fourth quarter away.
Absolutely, jumping up by 13 with that touchdown.
Yep. Positive thing, it's still just a 2-score game. And Indianapolis definitely has 2 scores in them, offense-wise.
Absolutely. That gives the Gladiators a 20-6 lead here in the fourth quarter with 7:51 left on the clock.
And there's still plenty of time on the clock for Indianapolis to make something happen here, but they're running out of drives that they can come up empty on.
There's a kick here by the kicker, and there's a return from the 10-yard line. And pow, he's hitting the kneecaps. Is he going to get up?
Yeah, it looked like Benny Brazil with the hit on Andrews and just stopped him in his tracks.
Yeah, Andrews got to be careful because he's a he's a great asset here to this Indianapolis defense. And on the return, so he got to be pretty careful on those returns there, not to get injured.
Yeah, it's a risk versus reward investment when you're talking about putting your offensive players on as your kick returners because there's a higher chance of injury there, and it seems like the offensive absences hurt more than the defensive absences.
Absolutely. Swearingen breaks the 100-yard mark for the day. 106 are his yardage.
Yeah, getting it the hard way too. A lot between the tackles, a lot of yards gained after contact. So other than that one big run, the rest of it was real hard earned.
Absolutely. Here's a handoff hit to the fullback this time. He's nothing doing. Picks up maybe a yard on the play.
Yeah, you can see how important body weight at the running back position because he's got 3 people on him. But he still manages to fall forward and gain another yard.
Three wide receivers set here for Indianapolis. 3rd and 3. They need this first down here. And there's an out route to the top of the field. Looks like Dan Daly comes away with the reception to pick up the first down.
Indianapolis just coming up with another great situation on a first down they've got to have.
First and 10 here for the Red Devils at their own 39-yard line. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you talking.
One-on-one or... Oh, sorry. I was saying I'd like to see Pepper take a shot at McCormick deep here. Kind of challenge that St. Louis secondary and get some of these guys out of the box.
Totally agree with you. Here's a handoff here to Swearingen. He's bouncing, hit in the backfield for a 1-yard loss. And to piggyback on you as far as Peppers, I mean, he was very aggressive last week versus the big win over the Baltimore Vultures. For 41 for 34 on 41 attempts, 323 yards and 2 passing TDs with no interceptions thrown. So he's been very mediocre this game, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think you're just seeing the difference in defensive continuity between all the different players out there for the two teams. You got Baltimore; they're just like our squad. We're still trying to come together. Expansion it's a growth process. And that's not the case with St. Louis. They've been together for a few years. They know exactly what they want to do. They know what their identity is, and you've got to make them change it. They're not going to come in and question themselves.
Absolutely. And Mandrake Perp comes away with another sack on the day. And 3rd and 11 here for the Red Devils. 2-step drop by Peppers going deep, and that pass is intercepted here by the strong safety, and he's got room to go, and he's brought down at the 36-yard line.
Ethan Kaya, that's the first-round pick, number 31 coming out. He's 6 foot 205, and showing why they took him 8th overall. With a great play on the ball. He definitely wasn't playing the receiver. He looked back, saw where the ball was going, stepped in front of him, got his body turned in position, and comes up with a great catch.
What an awesome play there by Ethan Kaya. Comes away with that INT. Man, what a catch.
Yeah, absolutely. This is...
That pass is almost came away with an INT there for Indianapolis themselves.
Yeah, you're seeing, I think, teams that are relying more on pass. A lot of coaches that are more aware of how important pass defense is to their teams. You just got a lot more people out there that are getting paid to take the ball away from you when you put it in the air now. Absolutely,
and that INT for Ethan Kaya gives him his 3rd of the year, 1 for each game he has played so far. It's a 5-step drop here by Asu going out to Diaz, and Diaz almost makes a man miss, but nothing doing. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing. 3rd and 10 here for the Gladiators at their Indianapolis 36.
As a pro secondary, as a pro player in the secondary, you're kind of holding yourself to the standard of 1 interception every other game. If you can get 6 a season, you're in pretty good company. And if he's already got 3, I mean, if he's averaging a pick a game,
sir,
that's scary.
And there's Asu on a running scramble, throws the ball for his life, and that pass is incomplete as he throws it away.
I think he's throwing it to the reporters over there.
Maybe so, or maybe he's just trying to get outside the pocket and just get rid of it. But he threw that thing really fast. I mean, really hard.
Yeah, Asel's not afraid to wing it at you. I mean, earlier in the game we saw those sidearm throws, and they've got some juice on them. So.
And St. Louis is going to punt this thing right back to Indianapolis, but St. Louis defense has been playing great to keep Indianapolis out of the end zone. And what a punt there, not to allow the defender to get past. I mean, the return got to get past the 20-yard line.
And Indianapolis is doing a great job of not letting the game get out of reach. But we're at the 5-minute mark in the 4th quarter, so it's kind of put up or shut up time for Indianapolis because they need points on the board in a big way.
Absolutely. They need 2 touchdowns and maybe a 2-point conversion to take the lead here in this game as they're sitting in split backs. 3 wide receivers set. Tom Pepper on a 2-step drop. And he's getting hit and brought down, and then guess who it is? Scott LaRue.
And 3rd tackle for a loss in the game. He's always there when they need him. He definitely holds the defense together for St. Louis out there.
Scott Louisiana.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely. There's a few of them out there. There's a cast of characters out there for St. Louis.
2nd and 14 for the Red Devils at the 12-yard line of Indianapolis, and there's a handoff here to Swimage, and wasn't looking for that one. Now they're running a no-huddle offense. Are they going to hand it off to him again, or are they going to try to go for a pass here?
Ajamu off the lobby. That was a punishing hit he had.
Absolutely, and that pass is almost picked off once again by Mandrake Perp. I mean, they got people flying from everywhere. The defensive ends are even in zone coverage. Just
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mandrake it's funny because Mandrake's one of those. He's the type of player that you just expect plays for St. Louis. You know, and the fact that he came from Oklahoma City last year. I mean, his impact's immediate, and I think his chemistry is great with the team just from the jump.
Here's a two-step drop here by Peppers. Throws an out route here to the bottom of the field, and that pass is caught but blowed up. And was that fourth down? I think that was.
It might have been. Was that them going for it on fourth? I'm surprised. I figured if they were at a spot where they were going to go for it on fourth, they'd go deep.
That's crazy. They went for it on fourth down inside of their own 20-yard line.
Yeah,
now
that's
the Gladiators.
St. Louis a great chance to capitalize.
Oh wow! St. Louis comes out now in a strong I formation here. They're going to give it off to the little general Diaz.
I'd expect to see Diaz have his hands on this ball until it's in the end zone or until they're kicking it.
And there Diaz picks up 5 yards there, averaging 4.1 yards a carry.
Yeah, and that's all you want from your running back. If you can average 4 yards, you can give me a first down in 3 tries every single series of downs. So,
absolutely, I most definitely would take it. Me personally, I'm a little upset with Indianapolis for going for it inside of their 20. I don't think that was a good call because that gives St. Louis here, as you stated, an opportunity to capitalize and jump up very big on you here. And they didn't.
I mean, it could be a chess match move where they're thinking that their defense has a better chance of breaking a big play than their offense does against St. Louis's defense.
Didn't think of it that way. And there's Diaz on another carry, picks up 2 yards on that run.
I'm not saying I'd lean the same direction. I'm just saying maybe that's what they're thinking is their defense has come up with a lot of big plays today. So maybe they're just at this point where they're at with the way St. Louis's defense is treating their offense. They think the odds are better.
Christian Pundit says in the chat that Indy will still be a top 6 in power ranking next week. If they don't win today, I don't think so. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, I think power rankings they're very symbolic of kind of the momentum behind a team and not, I mean, all the teams have the same salary cap. So how you spend it one way or the other isn't going to make too much of a difference. It really comes down to coaching, momentum, and some teams just, I mean, look at Tulsa last year. The momentum they had, pulling out some games that were just last second Hail Marys or, just things were a little bit more improbable. And so they were high in the power rankings. It wasn't that people thought they were so much better than anybody else. It was just that they were, they were coming away with the right plays at the right time.
And what do you think about Diaz on the last run, picking up that first down?
It's almost not even surprising anymore. Like when they give him the ball, he's just going to make somebody miss or he's going to run through somebody.
And here's Diaz once again on the handoff here to the top of the field. Picks up 1 yard there this time on the carry. Only 57 yards on the day, but he's been very productive. Has a touchdown as well.
Yeah, if you're looking at that stat block, you'd have the exact opposite opinion of what it feels like from watching the game. Mm-hmm. Like I would think by far that Diaz has the more momentum shifting run style, but Swearingen's definitely doing work.
Two-minute warning here. Closing minutes here of the fourth quarter of this game. St. Louis is still in a power I formation. They hand it off to Diaz on the ISO. And he bounces down to the bottom of the field, picks up maybe 1 yard this time. And the Red Devils finally start to use their timeouts. Merrick.
A little too late, I think. Minute 57 left. St. Louis has got the ball. They're easily within scoring range, so you can expect them to put it out of a 2-score reach as long as they don't have some sort of crazy collapse. So big for Indianapolis. I get why they're using their timeouts, but I think they probably should have started earlier when they had more of a chance to guarantee that St. Louis wouldn't come away with more points.
Another handoff here to Diaz. He gets blockers. Oh my goodness! Smacked in the mouth. Was that crazy? Oh my goodness.
Yes, sir.
Crazy he is.
Yeah, he is quite. You are correct. I mean, he's laying the wood out there. Just trying to get that ball free, I think. Just trying to make a play.
Anytime you're willing to put your body on the line like that for a hit, you are crazy.
I don't think people are even allowed to hit like that anymore in some leagues.
My goodness. Here's the kick here for the field goal for St. Louis, and that kick is up. And that basically put this game here out of reach with 150 left in the game. And the kicker's even hyped for St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. It's a smart kicker, not getting hyped until the odds are clearly with him. But, yeah, I think at this point he's right because St. Louis is in a pretty commanding position. I mean, 23-6. Indianapolis is capable of a lot on offense. I don't know if they're capable of that.
There's the kick there by Martin. The return is out to the 27-yard line here for Indianapolis.
Yeah, that was Chad Longstreet with the tackle. One of their backup DEs. He's definitely probably happy to get a chance to put a hit on somebody.
Well, let's see if St. Louis is going to rest the starters and bring out the second string guys and let the starters get a little break here. And let's see if Indianapolis can take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a controversial decision. I personally dislike the fact that we pull our starters off. I kind of feel like, you get what you get on the field. I don't know why you would pull the starters off. But, I mean, I get it. I just think with the medical staff that we've got in the SFL, it's probably not necessary.
Absolutely. It's Big LaRoe once again with the sack. And Pepper going deep to the bottom of the field. One-handed catch here by McCormick. 1st and 10 for Indianapolis. Down to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, if I'm Pepper and I'm trying to convince my team we've still got a shot, I'm putting the ball in McCormick's hands. Because he's going to be capable of large chunks of yards in real short bursts time-wise.
Three wide receiver set this time here for the Red Devils. Split backs in the backfield and passes out to Swearingen. And Swearingen is nothing doing on that reception, picking up 1 yard afterwards. Indianapolis calling a no huddle now. Peppers on a 2-step drop. Quick strike across the middle of the field, and it got looks like Daly on a quick slant. Ball is at the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 here for the Red Devils. Peppers going through progression. Got McCormick down the field, and that pass is broken up and incomplete. Not McCormick. Daly was the intended receiver. Sorry about that.
It's all right. I thought Daly came down with that one, too. I didn't realize that he didn't have that reception until I saw the ball bouncing off the defenders.
Same here. I thought he came away with the catch as well. I saw the same thing.
It's just one of those things, man, with this offense. They when they turn it on, they seem to just gouge people for those medium-yard throws.
3 wide receivers set here for the Red Devils. Split are the halfbacks. Peppers on the center calling the signals. 5-step drop this time. Throws an out route to the bottom of the field to Daly. And no, not the Daly. It's the fullback, Castle. Calls for a timeout is the Red Devils.
Now, unfortunate there that they've got to waste a timeout instead of Castle, being a little bit more aware of the field and getting out of bounds. But it is what it is. I think they're playing for pride at this point. Let's see if they can get into double digits.
Trips to the top of the field here for the Red Devils. Offset is the single back. Peppers going through the progression. Got the man in the middle of the field. Picks up the first down is McCormick. No, that's Daly. I keep seeing the guys with the sleeves, and I keep thinking I can't differentiate which one is which.
Well, Daly's usually playing on the outside, and it looks like they moved him to the slot on that last play and had him cut inside towards the seam. So
exactly, that's what I saw.
You were about as confused as the defense was. This gives you a newfound respect for how much upstairs it takes to play this game, because we've got a perfect view of the field and we can't see what's going on sometimes.
Absolutely. There's a swing pass out to the halfback and spin move. Picks up 6 yards on that play.
That's still falling forward even in the fourth quarter with 30 seconds left. So
absolutely. 30 seconds left on the ticker. As you stated, McCormick to the bottom, Daly to the top of the field, and Pepper throws a sidearm throw here to the bottom of the field. It picks up a first down, and that is McCormick on the reception.
That's what you expect from the veterans. They're getting out of bounds. They're making their receptions and they're getting out of bounds.
And what a saving touchdown here by Katina.
Yeah, Takeshi Katana made a great stop there. McCormick's not easy to bring down one-on-one, so probably got a little bit of help that McCormick was trying to get out of bounds. I think he might have just kind of helped him that way, but
Hey, wasn't Katana a Mortal Kombat player?
I think she was.
3 wide receivers set for Indianapolis. Peppers going through progression, gets a little pressure, but he gets it out before the pressure gets there, and the halfback is stopped with the reception. 15 seconds left on the ticker. 2nd and goal at the 7 of St. Louis.
Clock's running. I don't know if I would have ran that. Keeps him inside. No chance of getting out of bounds to stop it. And just kind of puts more pressure on him.
Throws a dart to McCormick through the middle of the field. Got a touchdown. 4 seconds left on the clock.
Like I said at halftime, and McCormick wasn't going to be happy with the way he was performing in the first half. He's not coming away from a game without at least 1 touchdown. It's the same attack that they've been using in this hurry up, where they're just attacking the seams in the middle.
Absolutely. 4 seconds left on the clock. Here's the extra point field goal here for the Red Devils, as the Gladiators are going to come away with the victory here. That one of the defenders get some pressure on that field goal block
It was
attempt.
close. Roman Pena was probably just like, "Get me out of here, man! I missed one. People are coming close to hitting me." Like,
Absolutely. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the best start ever for the St. Louis Gladiators, coming off starting at 2-1 after 3 weeks here in the SFL.
that's strong in the Eastern Conference, and maybe it's important for Indianapolis that they got that score, because now they know at least that they can score on them. Because they're going to see these guys again. It's not like St. Louis is going anywhere.
Absolutely. There was an onside kick there, and Sheldon Morant almost comes away with the return off of that onside.
Well, it's good. I mean, it's a good step for Indianapolis to take, because just trying to show St. Louis that they're not intimidated by them, and there might only be 2 seconds left, but we're still going to onside kick it, and we'll go deep on you if we get the ball back.
Absolutely. And St. Louis plays fair ball and go ahead and takes the kneel to run the clock out, and that's the ball game, folks. Here from the SFL studios, I am your commentator, Damon Simien, along with Merrick Itera. I'm sorry. Pronounce the last name for me again. Itera?
Itera.
Itera. There we go. And here's a look at the stats here. Great game today, Merrick. What'd you say?
Yeah, I think it was a really good defensive contest here. I mean, multiple turnovers on both teams, and you've got 2 defensives that have proven in the past 2 weeks that they can move the ball and they can put points up on the board. So I think the final score shows just how much you should respect both the defenses of these teams, because St. Louis did a really good job of bottling in Keith Swearingen. I mean, he only had 1 big play. I mean, he got his yards and he had an impact. I mean, you're not going to keep him out of the stat blocks, but they did a really good job of controlling him, and because they were able to control him, they kept Indianapolis from doing some of the other stuff they wanted to do, and just really opportunistic play on defense and coming away with some turnovers. ACL wasn't scared to start running for St. Louis and picked up some key first downs that I think kept them running when they were trying to stall out. So it was a great game overall.
Absolutely. I'm just ecstatic at Asa, the way he just kept scrambling and picking up first downs after getting pressured.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, guys got some legs on him, and he's not afraid to make the run.
Yeah, you don't see
It's
that.
something you got to account for.
Exactly. You don't see that very often here in the SFL, where the QB would run and scramble and pick up the first down. He picked up 2, by the way.
Yeah, I'd imagine some potential opponents in the next couple of weeks that are playing St. Louis will have some QB spy in their playbook just in case. It would be good, though, because Dylan was able to shrug a couple tackles, so he's game.
Absolutely. As we look at the final highlights here of this game.
Crazy with 9 tackles. Pelletier with 6 tackles. Yeah, I mean, that's strong stats. Obviously, LaRue was going to get his sacks, and Eric Riley
Came away with 3 today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't want to say it was a surprise for him, but probably more sacks than he was expecting coming into the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Pena. Yeah, I mean, Pena missed that 1 chip shot, but other than that, pretty strong game from him, from both the kickers. Really, they made a couple deep kicks from both sides.
Absolutely. Great game to both teams and both coaching staffs and owners and general managers, and who all played a part in putting together the game plan for both teams. Both teams played very well today. Outstanding performance by both players. And here's the player of the game, Cody Scott, the tight end, comes away with the
Cody
performance.
Scott coming away with the hardware for the game.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, 4 receptions, 108 yards, a 27-yard average, and he had a touchdown. I mean, he was a terror in the backfield on those seam routes all game. So well deserved.
I think the 20+ yard average helped it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you can have anybody average 27 yards every time they touch the ball, then you're in a good spot.
Absolutely. Well, there it is, folks. That's the ball game. I'm Damon Simien. He is
Merrick, Itera.
And we're out of here, signing off from SFL Networks. Have a good night.
Right. Yep. Take it easy, guys.